Whatever you want to do, you do to me, but leave mine alone.
Hello. Hi, Ghosty fam, and welcome to the Activity Continues podcast. If you're new here, we are friends and soul sisters who recap episodes of the TV show The Dead Files, and we talk about other creepy shit as well, usually whatever we're watching on TV or on TikTok. Unless there's something exciting happening in our lives, which, you know,
which 99% of the time there isn't.
not really. No.
It's usually TikToks.
Right. So this is Amy.
And this is Megan. Thanks for joining us again, everyone. This week, Amy is recapping the Dead Files episode called Evil Comes Home. So it's probably get some hot chocolate. It's probably going to be a real comfy, cozy episode.
Yeah.
It's from season 11 and is episode 6. And it originally aired on August 18th of 2019. So Amy, why don't you tell us why you chose this episode?
I chose it because it was the same kind of thing where I was looking at the spreadsheet and realized there was like a bunch in a row that we hadn't done any in the like season, end of season 10, beginning of season 11 or whatever. And so I just went to Discovery and watched the intros of a bunch of different ones to see which one looked
very
good.
Scientific. It's
I know.
We do a lot of research.
Yep.
We have
Yep.
panels that we conduct. There's a full board. I mean, really, it's a science.
Yeah, it really is.
And if anybody knows us, they know we're all about
absolutely.
The science.
Yeah. Yep.
Megan Trainor says, we're all about the base. No, we're all about the science.
That's right. So, yeah, this was just the one that I thought looked the most interesting out of the 3 or 4 or 5 that I watched the intros for. And it turns out it was a good pick, and there's a couple of reasons.
Nice.
So I will say, content warning, there's not a ton of stuff, but there is a serial murderer, serial killer, and a couple of murders. And
run-of-the-mill murders.
In that same, it's the same person, an abduction of teenage girls. Yeah, serial murder,
gross.
Kidnapper, yeah.
Gross.
Yep.
I don't like it.
Yep. No, that part's not good.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
No. But
unsubscribe.
It's a A friend of mine, this is an old thing that used to be like something that people said to each other like when internet was first young and people were signing up for listservs, like
what's a listserv?
It's like a mass email. It's like a group chat, but in email.
Oh, okay.
And so you get on this listserv and then you get like 57 emails a day from all the different people in your group.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Sounds terrible.
It was. I loved it because it was when email was new.
Yeah.
And I would like sign up for shit just to get an email. And now I'm like tossing.
God, don't send me an email.
10,000 emails a day that are full of crap. But anyway, so one thing that you would have to subscribe to this listserv, this mailing list, they called it, or group or whatever. And a friend of mine, whenever she approved of something that you said or liked something that you were like an idea that you were talking about, she would say, I am interested in your idea and I would like to subscribe. So I think of that every once in a while.
That's cute.
Anyway,
that's cute.
Yeah. This was actually really good timing because we were watching a movie and it just finished.
What movie was it?
It was Murder Mystery 2.
Oh, with Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Nice. That's good.
We just watched the first one a couple of nights ago because I had seen it, the first one, when it came out a while ago, but Greg had never seen it. And so we watched that and then after it was over, I said, "What did you think?" And he said, "I think that Jennifer Aniston did all the heavy lifting in that movie."
I mean,
and she kind of did.
I'm kind of over Adam Sandler. Like he just needs to be done.
I've never been a big fan of his, but
It's just the
he's
same movie over
charming
and
in
over
some
again.
things.
I mean, he's a decent it's just he just needs to stop making movies. Like
Yeah.
it's just the same movie over and over again.
Well, I have not seen all of his movies. I have no interest in seeing like the golfing one or the,
Happy Gilmore,
yeah. Or the
Big Daddy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I think the first thing I saw him in was the one where he was the serious one. Spanglish. Yeah.
I've never seen that.
And I liked him in that.
Yeah.
But I just haven't liked his like stupid movies. I hate to say it, but the ones where they're just dumb and goofy. This one is pretty dumb and goofy, but it's also a little smarter. It's a murder mystery. So they both are. And while they're silly and a little slapsticky at times, which I normally don't like.
Yeah.
They were good. They were funny. And, Jennifer Aniston, seriously, if it was somebody else playing that part, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
Because she's
hilarious.
She's
Jennifer Aniston. I mean, she's iconic.
She gets the big bucks for a reason.
Yep.
She's very good. So, milestones. We getting close to 10,000 downloads.
Yes. We're so close, you guys.
I know. You guys, you could help us along. Just open up your app, download it, all of our episodes, then delete them all.
Yeah.
And then download them again.
Yeah.
And then if everybody does that, we'll be there in no time.
My friend just drove back. She retired and she went to go see her grandbabies and she just drove back from Michigan and she played all of our episodes.
Aww.
She said she was playing the one that takes place in Wausau that I did as she was driving through Wausau.
Wow.
I know. I was like, serendipity. That's crazy.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So hopefully
good. I hope so.
Yeah.
So our virtual happy hour will be in 2 days from when you guys hear this. And so sign up if you haven't already.
Yes.
In the nick of time. Sign up for Patreon. That is, it's our Patreon happy hour. Virtual over Zoom or whatever. Yeah, I'm excited. I told Megan this already, but I watched an old episode of A Haunting. I found the one that Amy Allan was in. Season 1, episode 5. It's called Cursed.
I used to watch A Haunting all the time.
Really?
I can't watch it anymore. It's scary. I have nightmares because of it because it's so scary to me.
It's really dramatic.
There was one, I mean, maybe now I could watch it. This was like 13 years ago, but there was one, I'll never forget it. I was watching it and the family was all in the living room because they were so scared. And they said that they looked over and one of the mattresses that they were sleeping on was rising up and down like somebody was breathing.
Oh my
God. It was breathing. So I think of that to this day. I'll think of it. And it just scares the shit out of me.
Oh.
So I can't watch it, which is, isn't it ironic how much I love this shit and it terrifies me?
Yeah.
It terrifies me. I can't.
I know. I don't know why I'm not more scared of it, but I guess like
maybe
everybody.
Skeptic Greg is rubbing off on you.
Maybe, but I mean, I feel like I do believe in it. Yeah. I believe these people when they say this shit's happening. Yeah. So I don't know.
It just scares me. So like, I think it scares me because I know it can happen.
Yeah.
Like horror movies like Freddy and Jason and, Alien and Predator, those don't really scare me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, obviously I'm not stupid enough to think that we're the only life force in the entire universe.
Right.
But I just don't think that.
You don't think they've made contact?
Come here. No.
I think they're living among us, but.
They might be, but they're not like predators, like trying, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I don't.
Like hauntings,
I don't see it that way.
Those happen. And that's why that terrifies me because that I 100% obviously believe in it. So it just freaks me out.
A Haunting, at least I only saw the one episode. And I think I may have seen other episodes years ago, but I don't remember them. But the one I watched this time it's mostly reenactments. And then it's Amy and the client doing a on-camera voiceover, if you want to. I don't know what you call that.
And it's just a voiceover.
It's a voiceover, but they're on camera, their face is on camera. It's not just the voice coming in.
So there's like a little thumbnail of them?
No, they're being interviewed. Like when Amy says, I do believe, like at the end of the Dead Files, she says, I do believe that if these people did, but I don't know what you call it. Like narration is usually just a voiceover too. Like it's not, you don't see the person's face.
Phrases for voiceover.
I don't know. But anyway, so it has that. So when it went to Amy and she's talking about going to this lady's house, I was like, oh, she's such a baby. Yeah. I took a picture of it with my phone, obviously with my phone. What else? Who has cameras anymore? But
I took a picture of it with my disposable camera, and then I waited 4 to 6
I had to bring it to ProX
for it to get developed, and then I mailed that over to
I had to print it out.
3 weeks later, she got it in the mail.
Oh, anyway, I took a snap of that and I will post it on the socials along with all the other extras from this episode because she's so cute.
She is.
I mean, she's cute now too, but
I know.
She is just such a little baby face and her little bangs.
And her hair
and her little
so short.
hair.
Yep.
Oh my God, she's so fucking cute.
Fresh. I just fucking...
It was a really
protect Amy at all costs.
I know. She's the best. Yeah. Did you see, I think I sent you a picture. I don't know if you saw it, but I did a screenshot of Amy posting on Twitter. And she said there's going to be a big announcement about her and the Dead Files coming up.
I hope it doesn't mean she's leaving the show.
I think she is. I think they're going to put in a new medium.
I hope if she is, it's because she wants to.
I think she does want to. I don't want her to leave, of course.
I know, I don't either, but...
Of course. But I could see how she has had it.
It's exhausting for her. I mean,
and her health's not been great, and she has to take care of herself. So I 100% understand.
Mentally and emotionally and physically, I mean...
Yes, being a physical medium, all that shit is wreaking havoc on her body. She's still dealing with that, breaking her leg, her foot. I think it was her leg, ankle maybe. I don't know. She's got pins in her leg, and it just she needs a break anyway. But
now maybe she could literally say, "I'm on pins and needles."
That's right. So that I think they're probably going to maybe they'll have her be like a consultant. She'll be on each episode, but she won't do the walks. Who knows? I don't know. That's just my guess.
Or maybe she'll be like more of a behind the scenes and like she'll start producing or directing or something.
Or she'll be the one maybe do follow-ups and make sure that people get the help they need. That would be nice because Lord knows they need that. So yeah, there's a lot of things she could do and still be involved. I don't in my own mind think that she's going to do walks anymore. I just don't.
Maybe not.
I would be nice if she could, but I don't want her to do anything that is going to be jeopardizing her health or her state of mind or whatever.
Right.
So, but I'm excited to find out what it is.
Yeah, me too. Samesies.
Yeah. Is there anything else? I don't think I have anything else.
Really have much, no.
Okay. There was something else I wanted to... Well, I think some of the stuff I wanted to tell you is... Well, I will tell you after, because it pertains to the episode.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Oh. Easy, Tiger.
There's a lot of there's not a lot of real estate here behind my ears, and I have my giant headphones on and my glasses. They're fighting. Okay. So, this is called Evil Comes Home. Season 11, episode 6, originally aired August 14th, 2019. This takes place in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Who's that a joke?
That's one reason I'm glad
Call me,
I
you're the
chose this
best.
one. Yep.
Call me.
We love Kenda.
We love Kenda. He's the best.
So the client, the client is, her name is Jordan. Another reason I'm glad I chose this one. And
serendipitous.
I know. And she and her wife started a paranormal group. And she says now all hell has broken loose. And so at the beginning, they show Matt going through the house. And he says, he does the whole, I have to clean it up. And there's...
then it will be ready for
anything.
Walk.
Yeah. Ready for Amy's walk. Anything that could give Amy any clues or anything like that. And he says this house has some unusual items that need to be removed or covered. And as they show that, he's grabbing like a piece of art. It's like a framed with like relief, sort of. You know what I mean? It's got texture, and it's a skeleton. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Amy's like, I have chosen wisely.
I know. I'm like, I'm going to like these ladies. So then so first we see Steve, and he's talking to Jordan, and she tells him that if Amy and Steve can't help, someone's going to wind up dead. And I'm like, eesh.
Not to be dramatic.
Oh, like, and no pressure. Once again. That should
have been the name of our podcast.
No
pressure, Steve.
No pressure, Steve.
If you don't fix this, someone will either die or my relationship will end.
That's right.
That's all. That's
it, though. I mean, don't worry about it. I'm sure you can handle it.
But like, if you can't do anything, it's fine. It's just my life will be ruined. But
somebody might die, but it's okay.
But you know what? It's fine. I mean, whatever you can do,
right,
is great.
No pressure.
But no pressure. Yeah.
So when Amy gets there, the first thing she says is that she feels stressed out and lost and angry.
Same.
And she says there's an overwhelming sense of emptiness that is consuming.
Oof. Jeez, Amy.
Yeah.
Damn.
And she says,
right out the gate.
I know.
This house could cause somebody to kill somebody.
Oh, shit.
Coming in hot.
Coming in. Now we're cooking with gas.
That's right. I have a friend who used to say, now we're cooking with heat. Okay, so Jordan shows. Jody? No, it's my friend who actually passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh,
yeah, she was hilarious. I hope she's
Is she
one of my
the one
spirit
that
guides.
I feel like we talked about this when she passed away.
We probably did. She drowned in the Dominican Republic.
We didn't. Oh, no, we did not.
She moved to the Dominican Republic, and she was not scuba. What's the other one? Snorkeling. And she was with a friend, and they went down, and she didn't come back up. I know.
Did they find her?
I don't know. I don't really know who to ask because I only kind of know her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you really open that up?
I've only met him a couple times. He's a super sweet guy.
Bless him.
But I'm afraid to be like, I don't want to stir anything up. You know?
Right. That's
I know. I know he didn't do it. It's not
right. No,
not like there was any foul play.
Trying to move on, and then somebody's like, by the way, did they find her? Like, come on.
I wish I knew.
Yeah. But well, I hope she's at peace. I hope she's at peace.
I do too. She's one of the ones I try and talk to when I go into my little meditation thing. But
way to bring it down, Megan.
Way to go.
Welcome to our comedy show.
I can cut that part. It's funny. She is probably the funniest person I've ever met, and not always on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
She was an engineer, super, 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 super smart, ditziest woman I've ever known.
Isn't that the way it is? They're either really, really smart and not like street smart.
Yeah.
Or like me, and I'm not street smart or regular smart. I'm bumbling through life, bumping into walls. I went to work out this week and I forgot pants. I always forget something when I go to work out.
Oh, you mentioned that one other time too.
I forgot
sometimes
pants.
It's underwear, sometimes it's a bra, sometimes it's pants.
Shoes, So I go there and I am unpacking and everything, and I'm like, I don't have fucking pants. So I sent my friend that, and I was like, because she, we work out, we build each other up, like kind of accountability buddies. And I was like, I went to work out. I said, in plot twist, I forgot something. And she goes, Megan, that's not a plot twist. She's like, plot twist would be if you actually worked out. That's the plot twist. I'm like,
plot twist would be if you did not give yourself an excuse not to work out.
Yes. Like subconsciously, my body's like, you don't really want to do that.
No, we're going to just leave those pants at home.
Just leave the pants at home.
We all know you're not going to work out anyway.
I even made it to the gym though. Like I got
amazing.
there.
That's amazing.
That's right there. That's a workout in and of itself.
That is.
All right. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Completely derailed.
I just want to mention one more thing.
Yes.
This friend is the one that lived in Scotland that we went to visit when we got married. So she's the one that got us to go there and get married.
Sorry, my boob is itching. I hope you can't see this, but
can't see it. I can't see you from here down.
Yeah.
Okay, so
back
to the task at hand.
2 sentences in. And 45 minutes later, Amy's
Right.
like, can you shut the fuck up?
No, never. Okay, so Jordan shows a photo of she and her wife,
Mhm.
of her and her wife.
Her and her
She
wife, yeah.
Okay. Jordan shows I wrote her and her wife, but then I was like, that sounds wrong. She says there's a lot of depression and anger. They experience footsteps, voices,
Mhm.
shadow figures, things being moved, and
Mhm.
health issues. Steve asked her
Mhm.
what kind of health issues, and she says she has stomach problems.
Heart attack?
And no, not heart attack. No, not yet anyway. Knock on wood. And
That was plus.
that's to be my head.
Knock on wood. No.
You haven't seen people do that? I do that all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
But my headphones got in the way.
We're a mess.
Oh, dear Lord. I had plenty of sleep last night, but it doesn't feel like it. Anyway, she has stomach issues, and doctor says they've done all these things. They've tests, and they've,
Mhm.
done testing with putting stuff down her throat, and they can't
Ugh.
find anything wrong.
That's a scope. Some
Some
kind of scope.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Have you seen those TikToks that are lives and just girls laying on beds rolling back and forth? Have you seen that? I'll send you some.
What?
Yeah, it's like in Russia or
They-
something.
Okay. TikTok has the weirdest shit
Weirdest
that people
shit.
do live. Like,
That lady that does the automatic writing with the big white hair and the music is on really loud and she's sitting in a
Yes.
chair
and
she's
just moving
leaning
around.
back and forth. Oh my God.
What?
The first time I saw that, it was a Friday night. I put on TikTok just before going to bed,
Uh-huh.
and that came up. And usually I don't see the lives, but that came
Yeah.
up and she's
Yeah.
doing that. And I was like, okay, I've got to see what this is all about. So I click on it to go to the live so that I can read the comments.
Yeah.
And the comments were so hilarious that I was choking because I was laughing so hard. But I really didn't know what she was doing. But apparently she's doing automatic writing, and she's, when she's not in that state, she's fairly normal.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's
yeah.
bizarre. And that
To say the
people
least.
commenting are not very nice,
Oh.
but hilarious.
Yeah.
It's always like a what in the, and then put in like, what in the
Random
Linda
emoji.
Blair Exorcist is going on here? So people are
Yeah.
always like putting in stuff like that,
Yeah.
which that kind of comedy makes me laugh really hard. But anyway, so Steve asks her to explain her paranormal group, and she's
group?
She has a paranormal, her paranormal investigation group.
You left that out.
Oh, I did? I thought I said
Or
that
I
in the
didn't
beginning.
hear it.
Okay. She and her wife started a
Yes.
paranormal investigation company.
Oh, I think maybe you
They are
started to say
paranormal
that. And then we got caught up with the she and her
All
and
the
then
other
knock on
shit.
wood.
Yeah.
And then
It's a mess up in here. So Steve asked her
they
to
started
explain.
a paranormal group?
Yeah.
Okay.
She and her wife. Yep. And so he asks, like, what's the deal? And she says, well, people ask for our help. And Steve gives a funny shrug, like, ain't that a pickle? Like,
the irony. Yeah.
Yeah. You're now asking us for help? How good are you?
Yeah. This is going to hurt your rep.
She says they never had an issue until 2 years ago when they did an investigation in Denver at a hotel.
Mhm.
She had a very violent encounter with a male entity, and she
Oh,
believes
no.
that she brought him home with her.
Oh, no.
She thinks also that it's possible that Lori, her wife's ex, Nora, is also here. And she didn't die there, but
Mhm.
she lived there for a long time and was sick for a long time.
Mhm.
She had epilepsy,
Mhm.
which caused brain problems that
Oh, shoot.
turned into a terminal brain issue. And she
Oh,
used
my
that term,
God.
brain issue. And I was like, it's kind of a weird term.
Well, maybe it's like not cancer, but
Yeah,
like,
no, it wasn't cancer.
like
I
a
think
brain bleed or.
well, I had a dog that had not epilepsy, but seizures.
Mhm.
And every time she had a seizure, it wrecked
Well,
a bunch of brain cells. And
yeah.
so by the time you've had a lot of those, there's not much left up there. It's like
Your
Swiss
brain's
cheese,
just
so,
bouncing around in there.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
I
that's
think
not good.
I think it was probably brain damage due to all
Bless
the
her.
injury and all the damage in
Yeah.
her brain.
Jeez.
So Lori says she feels like it's all her fault because, Jordan feels
Jordan,
like
I was
it's all
gonna
her
say,
fault
yeah. Oh,
because
no.
she feels terrible that she can't protect her family.
Mhm.
She's one of those, like, I'm the big boss. I have to take care of everybody.
Right,
She's one of those
right.
types. So now we see Amy. She is getting a little lady. She's tiny. She's in her 60s.
Mhm.
And she's freaking out about another dead lady who's here. And she
Okay.
says, "Oh, it's horrible. She's abusing me." I know.
Oh.
The spirit says her head hurts.
Mhm.
Amy thinks she may have had a
Mm.
stroke or Alzheimer's or dementia. And I wrote, or a brain issue.
Or TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yep. So but Amy says there's something going on with her brain.
Mhm.
Matt asks if this can affect the living, and she says she thinks that the living could experience headaches,
Mhm.
and they might hear her crying and yelling. And I am feeling so bad for this poor spirit.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're supposed to be able, like, once you pass, you're supposed to be resting.
at rest, yeah.
Yeah.
Amy says this brain head thing is really bad and really painful.
Oh, for the spirits?
Yeah, for both of them, I think. Amy's feeling it too. And
That's
so
too bad.
she says that the spirit has a lot of anger and despair.
Mm.
And it's really sad. It's really not a good situation.
Mhm.
So now Steve is in the kitchen with Jordan.
Dinah?
Someone's in the kitchen.
Okay, really quick. I'm sorry. So I was at work yesterday and one of my coworkers saw a headline and it was like a snake had gotten in the cockpit of an airplane, like a cobra. And my coworker goes, "How did the snake get in the cockpit?" And I said, "Well, obviously he bought a boarding pass."
First class, baby.
First class.
They let you in there.
They just let anybody in that first class. Cobras
included. Oh, my nose is.
See,
I'm getting your itchies now.
Oh my God, my thumb right now is burning because I just itched the shit out of it. So he's in the kitchen with Jordan.
Steve's in the kitchen with Jordan. There's a staircase nearby, and Jordan says that it feels like when you're coming up the stairs, it feels like someone's at your butt and like chasing you up the stairs.
I hate that.
And I think we've talked about this before on one of our episodes, that I used to do that when I was a kid, when I was little, in my first house growing up.
Mhm.
When I would run up from the basement, I would start going up the stairs normally, and then suddenly I would feel like I have to run.
Yeah.
And I would freak myself out, and I just thought I was doing it to myself.
Mhm.
And I told my mom about it.
I would do the same thing. Yeah.
And she was like,
halfway up the stairs.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
"Gotta run."
I gotta run. Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if that really was me just making it up, or if
Probably
there was
not.
something. Who knows?
Probably not.
Who knows?
There's stuff happening all around us that we don't even know about.
I know. And I was more in tune to that when I was little than I.
Totally. We all are, because we don't have the built-in doubts. Not built-in, but the learned doubts.
Yeah. So Steve clarifies that she actually feels the pressure when they're coming upstairs, and she says, yes, you feel it on you.
Oh.
To which he says, could it be the dogs running up on you?
Oh my God, Steven.
Eve.
It is not the dog, Steven. I'm using your full name.
Steven. We should find out his middle name so we can call him the whole thing.
No, I'm afraid of him. I will not be calling him his middle name.
So Jordan says she actually runs into shadow figures sometimes when she comes into the kitchen. She goes into the kitchen and they're like right there on her. Steve asks if it could be a shadow from someone in the house.
Could it be a shadow from the dog?
Could it be the dogs?
Could it be the dog shadow?
And she says no.
It's like, fuck you, Steven. Let's get real.
I'm an investigator. You think I haven't thought of all this?
Yeah.
And she really thinks it's the guy from the Denver investigation. So I looked up what Denver haunted hotels, and there are two big ones, Oxford Hotel and the Brown Palace Hotel, that are in Denver. I don't know which one it is.
Wasn't The Shining filmed in Colorado?
Stanley, yeah, the Stanley Hotel.
Stanley Hotel,
that was in Estes Park.
Okay.
So it's not quite in Denver, but I think it's out in the country. I mean,
not
it's further out.
Go to that hotel ever. You couldn't pay me to go to that. I know you would.
I would.
You'd stay there. I would. Not.
I would. I'd stay in room 237.
Nope, I would not. Nope.
I'd be scared shitless the whole time, but I'd do it.
No, I wouldn't.
With the door unlocked so that I could get out if I had to.
And the murders have easy access.
Yeah.
You are so considerate.
If it's just a murderer, that's different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm more afraid of human murderer than I am of a ghost.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you lock the door so the murderers couldn't get in?
Well, the place isn't filled with murderers. The place is filled with ghosts.
Well, who's making the
Right?
ghosts? The murderers. I don't.
Well, then they're ghosts. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, but the ghosts were people at one point. How
Right.
did they die? The murderers. It's all connected.
And the murderers are still alive, even though the ghost died in 1947?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Obviously.
Obviously. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm sorry. Okay,
This
so
is why I'm the logical one.
right. Well, and then I had this thought. So if she thinks that whatever was at the hotel came home with her,
Mm-hmm.
can a ghost haunt two places at the same time?
Oh my God. That's
I'm
a
like,
really good
couldn't
that's
she
a
just
really-
call the hotel and be like, hey, yo, is that ghost still there?
Uh-huh.
And if they say yes, then it's maybe not the one at her house.
I never thought about that. But
Or can it go
theoretically,
bebop back and forth?
I mean, it could. If you can go anywhere in the world, you don't have to abide by the physical laws.
Right. But then why would you attach yourself to somebody just to go to their house? Why wouldn't you just go to their house? Whenever
Maybe
you wanted
so that
to.
so that when they leave, it's like a GPS, you know where they're at.
Okay.
Because if you didn't attach to them and they left where you're haunting
You might not
them,
be able to find
you
them.
might not be able to find them. They could go anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So if you attach to them, maybe it's like a cord, and you can
Yeah.
always follow that cord to see where they're at.
Well, I know that's a thing because that actually happens in this
Yeah.
episode. Not in that instance, but in a
Mhm.
different part. We'll get there.
Okay.
Okay, back to Amy. She says
There's a creepy dead guy here.
she says he's a military war vet. He's covered in mud, and on his chest he has the word killer.
Great.
He's angry, lost, and he's lashing out.
Mhm.
He's attached to someone here.
Ouch.
The living would see an elongated shadow. He crawls up and down the stairs.
Don't like it.
And she's in the kitchen, where it's right by that staircase that Jordan was
Mhm.
saying that things chase you up.
Yeah. Yep.
And she says, as she's looking at the stairs, that she's afraid that he might be causing people to fall. They do not talk about anybody having fallen on that
Yeah.
staircase, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah. Or that he's not working towards it.
Right. So now Steve is in the master bedroom with Jordan, and he says that she sleeps here alone because Lori's health is so bad that she can't come down there. So she sleeps on the couch. I think that their master bedroom's on at least a floor below where their
The
living
main
room is.
floor.
I don't know if it's in the basement or not,
Mhm.
but Lori sleeps on a couch on a different floor.
Shoot.
Jordan hears banging and knocking. Steve goes, could it be the trees, branches against the house? She says,
That's
no,
a fair question.
we have the trees cut every year.
Yeah.
Could it be plumbing, etc.? And she goes, I would love it to be that. She's like,
Yes. Fight back a little bit.
come
Jordan.
on.
Come on, Steve.
I know, I get he has to ask off.
I do, but at this, it's like
But yeah, it's like, especially when the person's an investigator.
an
they probably have to
investigator
know.
and
Yeah.
probably has like ruled all of this out.
Right. Of course. It's been happening for 2 years. So
Right.
it's not like this just started. She says she has been pulled out of bed almost by her arm, and her shoulder almost came out of the socket.
Oh my God.
And this is not a small woman.
Yeah.
She's very tall and she's
Yeah.
very strong. She's
like she's built.
she's a built lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that,
The
I
dogs
don't think
could
I
do
could
it.
pull her out of her bed. But yeah, certainly dogs.
That's
could
terrifying. That's really scary now when they start like pulling on you, and
Yeah.
that's a strong spirit.
And she says once she was walking out the door and she got pushed up against the wall. And
oh my God.
Steve asked her, like, well, like, describe it. And she says it was like getting arrested, like when you're thrown up
Yep.
against the wall.
Yep. Oh my God.
And she said one time she was getting up and was punched in the middle of the back so hard she ended up in the ER.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is really beating on
This
her.
is bad.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is real
really
bad.
aggressive.
And it's causing major mood swings that scare even her own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she says she doesn't know what she's capable of.
And how terrible and
That's
terrifying to be like, could I eventually hurt my wife?
Mhm.
And it wouldn't be her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and then she'd have to live with that forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How awful for her.
I know. It's a really sad one. This is
Yeah.
it's a scary and a sad one. So now Amy's back talking about the military guy. She said he's very scared. The living people would feel his fear. He
Mhm.
freaks out, yells, and punches walls, and the living people would feel that him banging.
Mm-hmm.
And she said he is physical and he can do harm, and this is not good.
I wonder if he's scared because he doesn't maybe understand or he can't move on and he's just trapped.
Well, I'm a little confused about this one because, well, we'll get there, but
Okay.
it's not what it seems.
Okay.
I'll just say that for now.
Okay.
I think I have to burp.
Get up.
It's like I have to burp. Got heartburn. Okay, so now Steve is talking to Lori, and she agrees that what's here is dangerous. She's sitting on the couch, the one that she sleeps on. It sounds like she's just there all the time. Like she's kind of planted on that couch because she just doesn't really want to be anywhere else, even though that's not exactly safe either.
Right.
And it's right off the kitchen. And she says, it sounds like someone in the kitchen is cooking. Cupboards are moving, plates are banging around, but there's nobody in there. Drawers opening, closing. She sees a dark figure in the hallway, and Steve asks her to describe it, and she says he's darker than the dark.
Oh, I hate when they say that.
I know. It's like a void, like a black hole.
Yeah, like
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, I'm going to close my curtain here because that's freaking me out pretty dark outside right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so dark figure, he has broad shoulders, and it feels like he's looking at her and taunting her. And one night, just before falling asleep, she heard a woman crying and right in her ear and saying, "Help me." So I'm guessing that's the one that is getting abused by the other ghost.
Yeah.
She said it was right in her ear. It wasn't outside. Yeah, the one with
wasn't
the brain.
The dogs.
Yeah, it wasn't the dogs. Dogs can't say "help me." Not, I don't think anyway.
I mean,
Mine
not
can't.
in human.
No, not.
They probably can't in dog speak.
Yeah. So now Amy's in the kitchen and she sees the other dead lady, the one that the little old lady was afraid of. That was freaking out about. Yeah. And she says this is her main area. She's really physical. She's aggressive. She's in your face. She's super stressed out. Living people would feel extreme stress. Her obviously get mad. And this ghost wants them to leave. And her MO is to get them out. And Amy says that she has a protocol that has worked in the past to get people out, but it's not working this time. And she's indicating that she has previously gotten living people to leave, but it's not working with these two. So now we're back to Steve and Lori talking, and Lori says she has woken up and had fingerprints like gouges on her arm. She once saw a woman standing at the end of the hallway. She was like 80 or 90. They locked eyes, and the woman's face transformed into a monster.
No. Goodbye. I would never sleep again. I would never sleep.
This lady
again.
is a real piece of work, this ghost.
I would never sleep. I would be awake forever. I'd be awake forever.
Forever. Steve asked if she would recognize her if she saw a photo, and she said yes. So I know he's hoping to find a photo of who this is.
Digging through the archives.
Yeah. He does go digging through the archive. Actually, he goes digging up old records. But Lori says that Lori is sobbing every night because Steve's like, "How do you deal with this?" And she goes, "I can't sleep. I'm sobbing all night, every night."
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know.
And to be apart from your wife and
yeah,
that's sleeping on the couch. You're not even in a bed, for Pete's sake.
I mean, it looks like a comfy couch, but
but it's still a couch at the end of the day. It's
I would think she'd feel a lot safer with Jordan next to her. But she says she thinks they want to hurt them and maybe kill them.
Yeah.
So now we're back to Amy. She's still talking about the crazy dead woman, and she says she is dogging one of the living people here hardcore. She is not letting them sleep.
Yep, it's Lori.
She's not letting them sleep. She sees a weird morphed face, and her fingers turn into little black snakes.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. That's going to be a sketch.
Bunnies. Oh, good.
So buckle up for that sketch.
Couldn't they have turned into bunnies or like kittens?
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, but it won like a bajillion awards.
We saw it. I got
Was it good?
Showtime for that and for Yellow Jackets. It was very good. It was very weird.
Okay. Is it
But
sad?
there is, I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
It's about different universes, people
Oh,
going in
that's
and out
right.
of different
Yeah,
universes.
yeah.
So in one universe, all the people have hot dogs for fingers.
Huh.
So
Okay.
yeah, not snakes, but not bunnies either.
Yeah.
Hot dogs.
So what if you get hungry? Do you
You
eat?
can chew on them.
Oh my
I don't
God.
think they were eating them, but you could chew on. People were chewing on them,
Oh, get a little
but they
hot.
couldn't like do normal things with their hands, so they were like playing piano with their feet and stuff.
Weird.
It was bizarre. It's a
That
very
is
bizarre, a very bizarre movie, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I want to have some good, powerful gummies and watch it again because
Oh my
it's one of
God.
those kind. Yeah.
I only want the gummies that make me sleep.
Oh.
Those are good. That's all I want the gummies
Well,
for.
the
is
gummies
just go
that
to
I
sleep.
have make me sleep, but then I'm still like woozy 12 hours
See,
later.
anyways,
Yeah,
all
he
right.
was.
So
Okay. Lori, okay, so her face transformed into a monster. Steve asked if she would oh, we already got that part.
yeah,
She's
so now,
dogging, yeah, little black snakes.
Yes.
The living people can't sleep, and it's making her, Amy, sick. This mean ghost wants her house back. And Amy says she's frankly shocked that she hasn't killed anyone yet because she could.
wow.
So
Maybe she hasn't killed anybody because they've all left
yeah,
before.
she's getting fed up
gotten
with
to
these
that
two who
point.
won't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Steve is talking to historian Katie Rudolph, and she says one of the original owners of the property is Frederick Rowe. He was an insurance salesman and real estate agent. And in March 1889, he brought his family and his wife Clarabelle and 2 daughters.
Clarabelle.
Here. I
Fun
know, isn't that
fact,
cute?
that's the name of Goofy's girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Clarabelle.
As in
I
Disney
believe.
Goofy?
I believe it's
'Cause, like,
Clarabelle.
there's so many Goofies.
You know, as opposed to the other Goofy.
Yeah.
Your neighbor, the one up the road, Goofy.
All right.
Goofy Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
Goofster.
Good old Goofy. Yeah. So just about 6 months after they moved into this place, he got TB, tuberculosis, AKA
It is Clarabelle, by the
consumption.
way.
Oh, okay.
AKA consumption.
Consumption. And so in July 18th, 1890, he died. He was 57.
Jeez.
That's all done.
I mean, that's a decent age for 1890.
I guess, yeah, it is. Steve asked how bad the TB epidemic got in Colorado, and she said it was pretty bad. Thousands of people died.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people with TB went to Colorado because of the dry climate.
And the fresh air, because that's the cure. Just get in the air, and that'll cure your
Yeah.
consumption.
And she mentions that vaccine didn't come out until 1927.
Wow.
So then I looked it up, and the epidemic went from 1895 to 1954.
No.
Isn't that crazy? Like when you think about COVID,
TB, yeah,
we had shots within a year,
6 months,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was within a year.
Yeah.
One of my friends has TB.
Really?
It's
Right
dormant,
now has it?
but yeah, they have
Oh,
TB.
Yikes.
I know. Isn't that crazy? 2023 and people still have TB.
I know.
Didn't mean to make that rhyme, but here we are.
When I got a job once working for it was a social services group home for people with developmental disabilities. And I worked in the office, but because I worked for the company and would be at the home every once in a while, because that's where the head office was, I had to have a TB test before I could start.
Wow,
And I
that
was like,
makes
I didn't even
sense.
know TB was a thing anymore.
Yeah, it is.
And I thought they were shitting me. I'm like, my first day of work and you want to give me a shot? So back to Amy, she feels a male person's death. He is stuck in his death state. And she says like she can feel what he feels, and that is that the cold is creeping through his body.
Bless him.
And she sees a lot of people in pain and sick, and they're hearing the pulsing of their blood in their head, like the thump, the thump.
Yep.
And she says, I don't really understand what's happening to them. Like
Yeah.
she didn't put together that it was TB, of course.
Yeah.
But she said if living people are around them too much, they would feel very sick and drained.
Maybe that's
So-
why this entity is acting that way, because he's just caught in his death state. He's confused.
Oh, this is different than the killer guy.
Oh, okay.
This is different than the guy with killer on his
Oh,
chest. This
okay.
is this is just a
different
dying man.
Random. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, back to Stephen Ware, searching through old records.
And
And
dig
he
into the
finds,
archives.
yeah, I got to get sound clips of those and just pop those in when we get to this part. He feels a story. Fine, feels. Steve finds a story.
He really feels it. Like
He
it
really
really
feels
just,
it. Like,
oh, I feel the story.
oh, that story about an elderly woman who was murdered in the mid 1990s.
Ooh,
He
that's not
said,
long ago.
You know, you gotta be one sick rat bastard to murder a 96-year-old woman.
No shit.
So he goes to
96 years old. She
96 years old.
survived. Let's see. In the 90s,
Lots
she
of
would have
things.
survived World War II. She
Mhm.
would have survived the Great Depression.
Yep.
She would have survived a whole bunch of shit. And you take, what a piece of shit.
Well,
I mean, not that any killers are not pieces
Right.
of shit, but
right. And not that anybody deserves to die, but
no.
okay, so he goes to meet Dr. Leon Kelly, who's the medical examiner.
Mhm.
And he tells the story about Marjorie Mock, M-O-C-K. She was found dead right across the street from the client's property. She was locally sort of famous. She didn't leave the house unless she was dressed to the nines, full face of makeup,
Love it.
and every day she went to the local mall and walked around the mall. And she was
To the
kind of
nines.
seen as like in charge of the
Uh-huh,
mall. Like
uh-huh.
she was making sure everyone was behaving
Yeah.
and stuff.
I love her.
I know. I thought this sounded really cute too. You might not love her by the end. So on
Is she the
November,
angry spirit?
on November 10th, 1995, she didn't show up to the mall, so they did a welfare check and found her dead. At first, it wasn't suspicious, no evidence of a struggle or foul play, anything like that. But when they did the autopsy, it was discovered that she was strangled or smothered.
Was her hyoid broken? Bone
They
broken?
didn't say that necessarily. Well, they did say broken bones in her neck, so it must have been her hyoid.
Must have been a hyoid.
Yeah. She's got hemorrhages in her neck, bleeding, bruising, and broken bones in her neck. And they never came up with a solid suspect. It is still an open case.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
I did a little.
scary. I hate that. I
I know.
hate that.
I know. Open cases are.
They like, ooh, I don't
There's
like
a couple
it.
of them in this episode alone.
I don't like it.
I know. So,
Eee.
so I found a little blurb. I went out and did a little Googles. And she says she was resident of the Citadel Village Apartments. She was found with fatal blunt force trauma wounds, which is not what
That's
the
not
medical examiner said.
strangulation.
No. On November 6, 1995, so this was a couple months before, Colorado Springs Police Department found 86-year-old Rosa DeSalvo, also a resident of the Citadel Village Apartments, who also suffered blunt force trauma. Due to the age of the victims, the location, and the similar injuries, it is believed that these two homicides might be related.
Yeah,
The investigation
I'd say
into
so.
their deaths remain open. Anyone with information regarding this case, blah, blah, blah. So it is interesting to me that this is from the Colorado government website too, says that it was blunt force trauma, whereas the medical examiner said it was strangulation.
Or suffocation. Do they say the cause of death, though, was blunt force trauma? Or
I believe that's what that one said.
Just that they had blunt force trauma.
Was found with fatal blunt force trauma wounds. That's the way they worded it.
Because I was going to say they could have blunt force trauma and not necessarily that be the cause of death.
Right.
Huh. Interesting.
I've got a couple of theories.
Well, it doesn't say, did it say that this not dressed to the nines lady, I forget her name, it starts with an M.
Her name was Marjorie Mock.
Did it say that she had fatal blunt force trauma or that she just had blunt force? Oh, okay.
Yes, she was found with the fatal blunt force trauma.
Okay.
And then the second one, the Rosa DeSalvo, it just says she also suffered from blunt force trauma. So it did not say necessarily that the second one died from it. But
anyways. Not relevant at all.
Actually, she's the first one, not the second one.
Theorizing.
Second one mentioned. Okay. So now Amy says she sees the angry dead woman again. She has brown hair in a bob. She's white. She's in her 30s. It's 1950 or 1960. And she seemed like she belonged here. Like she may have been the owner, but she probably lived there. She was a neat freak and a homeowner, like the perfect 1950s housewife.
Housewife. Yep.
Perfectly put together.
Groomed. Yep. Dinner on the table at 5.
The female flashed her a picture showing her hanging herself.
Holy shit, that took a turn.
So I'm wondering if it's possible, no, I don't think you could hang yourself and have it look like it was something else. Like, unless you
Unless-
hung yourself by something that could disappear. Like, you know, if she hung herself by a rope, they'd find the rope when they found her,
Right.
right?
That would, yeah. Unless they didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's a way to, you know, how sometimes they withhold
to protect
evidence
the family and stuff.
to, you know, only the killer would know. You
Yeah.
know, like that there was a, well, I suppose, I don't
But
know.
if there wouldn't have been a killer if she killed
Right,
herself.
if she killed herself.
So I'm confused about this. Doesn't seem
Yeah.
like it matches Marjorie because of the
Mhm.
hanging, but it is still the neck injury.
Right, that
She
would
got that
cause the
part.
neck injury.
So, or maybe Marjorie just flashed her the wrong picture to give her a different idea. Who knows? Who knows?
Or maybe she tried to kill herself that way and didn't succeed. You know,
That could be, and then
rope
died
broke,
later at a different
or-
time.
Yeah,
Could be. Well, especially because Amy saw her when she was in her 30s,
mhm,
and this woman lived to be 96.
right.
So it's possible that when she was 30-something, she did try to kill herself.
She did try because, you know,
Yeah.
being a woman then is hard.
Yeah.
It's not like it's much easier now.
Especially in the 50s. I know.
Yep.
I know. Okay, so now we're back to Steve. He says that he's telling us that he's on his way to go talk to somebody because he learned that in the 80s, a 15-year-old girl went missing. So he's going to talk to John Anderson, who is the city's retired sheriff.
Nice.
And John says in November of 1987, Rocio Sperry went missing. There were no leads and the case went cold right away. Then a break in the case came in 1995 when he reopened a different cold case that was from 1991 for a girl named Heather Dawn Church.
Okay.
Does that name sound familiar to you?
Mm-mm.
I was like, I know this one. I know this one.
Mm.
It was on one of the Kenda shows.
Oh,
Kenda worked on that case.
to be fair, I nap during most of Kevin's shows. His voice is just so soothing.
I know. He should read like fairy tales or something.
Well, to be fair, he did have an audiobook.
He did.
And I listened to it.
Yep.
Just call me and talk to me. I just want to hear you talk.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't get
so
his book, but I
soothing.
did listen to the podcast, which was
Oh,
him just talking about
I got
stories.
his book, yeah.
Yeah.
But the book was kind of disappointing because it was just cases he'd covered on the show
Oh, yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah. I think the podcast was too. Because every once in a while, I found the podcast before I found his show. So I listened to the
Okay.
podcast and then I was like, oh, he has a show. So I started
Yeah.
watching that. And I was like, I already know this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so this Heather Dawn Church, she
Mhm.
was abducted from her home and it was a cold case for a while, but then they found some fingerprints in the home that led to a man named Robert Charles Brown.
Mhm.
When he was caught, he confessed and gave details about how he did it, and he got a life sentence.
Mhm. Good.
Once he was in prison, he started sending cryptic messages to the sheriff's department and told them that he had killed Rocio Sperry as well.
Mhm.
He says he picked her up at a convenience store. He took her back to his apartment. They had sex. Then he strangled her,
Mm,
dismembered her, and put her parts in a dumpster. So he's serving 2 life sentences now for her.
the having sex part gives me pause because
That's not what happened. No.
yeah. I was gonna
doubt.
say to him they might have
Highly.
had sex, but
Especially,
to the world he raped her.
exactly. Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah. Well,
Especially
this
if he
guy's-
killed her.
This guy's a real piece of work because he
Yeah.
confessed to 49 other murders.
Can they tie him to those though?
They were only able to confirm 7, but the sheriff believes he's good for all of them.
Really?
And then I looked her up and I found because they didn't show a picture of her. They showed
Mhm.
a picture of Heather Dawn Church.
Mhm.
And that also, when I saw that picture, I was like, oh, I know her. But so I found a story about her, and she was 15 years old.
Yeah.
She was married and had a 3-month-old child
That's gross.
at 15.
What year was this?
1987.
No.
Yep.
15. How old was her husband?
I don't know. I don't think he was like, I want to say he wasn't too much older than her. I
Okay.
don't think he was 15. Because he was, when she went missing, he was off on a business trip. So he was like a grown up with a job, but I don't know if he was a lot older than her or not. And then I had noted here, I wonder if Kenda worked in these cases. And then I Googled it and found there's an episode of Homicide Hunter that has the story of Heather Dunn.
Really?
I watched part of it today.
Yeah.
So back to Amy. She feels like
I almost just asked, did they find out who killed her? Did they solve it?
There were some fingerprints that they connected to.
Yeah.
Amy feels like an evil man lives here. She sees a guy dismember a woman's body, and she thinks he's a serial killer. He feels a lot of weird emotions when he's doing this, like anger, sadness, and a high. And she says there's so much murderous intent here. She's afraid that someone here could become a killer.
Interesting that he felt sadness.
Yeah.
That's an emotion you don't typically find with serial killers.
Right.
Sadness.
Right. Maybe a little bit of guilt. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it's usually with serial killers, though. Well, I guess Jeffrey Dahmer had guilt, but I don't know. I'm torn on Jeffrey Dahmer. I really am, because on the one hand, what he did was awful, obviously. But on the other, he knew it was awful and he wanted to stop, but he didn't. I don't know. I'm really torn on Jeffrey, honestly.
Yeah, his story, and I don't know it as in depth as I know some of the others, but he did not have a shitty childhood from what I remember. He had normal parents. Yeah,
his parents divorced when he was, I don't know how old he was when they divorced, but I know his dad remarried and he had a stepmom. I don't know if I watched a documentary about him, and they interviewed his dad and they interviewed his stepmom and they interviewed some of his classmates, but his mom was never interviewed. So I don't know if she passed away, if she didn't want to be part of it, but he was sent to live with his grandma for a bit. He hid some of the bodies in her freezer. I mean, Jesus. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, but I'm pretty sure that's what he did. Like,
okay.
He was troubled for sure. Fun fact, I actually talked to an FBI. I went to a meetup with an FBI person who talked to
I remember that.
Dahmer.
I was working with you when you did that.
Yeah, he was, and I asked him what Jeffrey Dahmer was like, because he interviewed him during this, like the investigation. He said he was really nice and polite. And I mean, if you watch,
it's like Ed Kemper.
Yeah, if you watch interviews with Jeffrey Dahmer, he is not like, he's not a quote unquote your typical serial killer where he's narcissistic and proud of what he did and bragging about it. He's quote unquote remorseful ? But, at the same time, he was drugging and raping men. So
awful. I tried watching the show, the one with Evan Peters playing him.
He creeps me out.
He's so good in everything he does, but he's so creepy.
He is.
I watched the first episode and I'm like, I don't think that I can do this. I don't think I can do this.
Anyways.
Okay. Anyway. So
moving on.
Did you want to say any more about Dahmer before I?
No.
So Amy's afraid that someone here could become a killer.
I think murderers would be like bred here and could either kill here or kill elsewhere.
Do you want to try? I don't know. Did you leave enough space in between the sound clip and when you started talking?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Sorry, I don't mean to like.
No, that's okay.
I just want to make sure.
No, that's okay. I think so.
Okay.
If not, I can always record it over again.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at the sketches. You're like, finally, how long is it?
If anything, it's my fault that it's this long.
No. She
Amy's
said the
recapping, and I'm like, Jeffrey Dahmer.
And reminds me. That's what the podcast should have been called. That reminds me.
Not to go off on a tangent, but here's a tangent.
So we jump right in. So the angry dead woman is the one that's the most worrisome. She's the woman with snakes for fingers. And I noted that she did correct the artist when the artist, she looked at the picture and then she told that she's like, make her hair longer and thinner. And then she did. So here we are at the reveal. It is Jordan and Lori. They sit down with Amy and Steve. He explains that they are paranormal investigators. And I wondered if there are so many dead people here because they brought them home. Because
maybe
all those dead people don't really seem to have a tie to this house.
Yeah.
Especially the TB patients. The TB hospital was miles away. But anyway.
Yeah.
So Amy first talks about the little petite lady in her 60s. She says she doesn't know how she died, but complained about her head. And Lori and Jordan look at each other and they both nod. And they know that this is Lori's ex, Nora. And Lori, poor dear, is just falling apart. She is crying.
Was she an ex before she got with Jordan?
I don't know. I assumed that she passed while they were still a couple.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. That's
they were
really
together
too
for 27 years.
Oh my God.
She died in 2014 in a nursing home. And Lori tells Amy about how she heard someone say, "Help me," and how now Jordan gets awful sudden headaches. And Amy does think that's probably her. So now Amy talks about 2 dead people that she's concerned about. There's a male who's thin, in his 30s, the military guy. Something's really off about him, the one that has killer on his chest. She saw him attacking a female, the one that dismembered a woman. And Steve tells her about Robert Charles Brown and how he dismembered at least one, probably 2 of those young girls. But he's not dead. He's in prison.
Oh.
So I thought it was interesting that Amy said there was a dead person, because sometimes she knows that it's not, but they never mentioned again that of him being dead. But she's pretty sure it's him. So Steve then explains
again.
What?
Residual.
Yep.
Like
Steve explains, how serial killers can leave fragments of their personality behind.
Yeah.
And then Jordan tells about how they were called in to do an investigation on what was considered his hunting ground. So she knows about him.
Oh, so she
said they've done over 50 investigations at this location. That was his hunting ground.
That's
and Amy
a
said,
lot of investigations.
Yes. And Amy said, this makes a lot of sense because he has an attachment to someone in this house.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't know how he can
I don't
have
know
an
how that
attachment
would
when
work.
he's not dead.
Yeah.
So I'm confused.
Yeah. Amy, if you're listening,
Allan, please let us know
please
what's going on there.
Let us know. Thank you.
So, thank you. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Hey, thank you. Bye.
Jordan
Love always, Amy and Megan.
Yeah. Jordan talks about the investigation in Denver where she was attacked and thrown across the room. Steve said this guy may have been attached to her before she even went to the hotel. The serial killer.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
When he's not dead.
Yeah.
Amy says he bangs around a lot, and Jordan, that's what Jordan hears, that banging on the walls. And he crawls up and down the stairs, and the living would see a weirdly shaped shadow. And Jordan talks about how they feel like someone is behind him when they're on the stairs.
On the stairs.
Yeah. And Lori talks about the shadow
I have to go
figures.
upstairs. Oh, my
Lori talks about the shadow figures, especially the one taunting her. Amy's concerned because this man is either trying to make Jordan become a serial killer or kill herself.
Oh, super.
And then, this is really creepy. She says, I'll be sitting, this is Jordan, and she's looking at Amy.
Just sitting here talking to you, and the next thing you know, I want to rip your head off. And I don't even know who I am, and I go after her, and I scream, and I yell, and I get in her face.
This is really bad.
That's not fair.
And Amy says, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And Amy looks a little terrified while she's saying, I'm sitting right here next to you and I want to rip your head off. As what I
don't blame her.
Yeah. The next dead person Amy wants to talk about is this white female in the 1950s and 60s who's put together perfectly, the epitome of the 1950s housewife. The picture showing her, she was hanging by her neck. Steve suggested it was Marjorie Mock. He doesn't say anything about but she didn't hang herself. Anyway, she came to Colorado in 1960. She was 96 at the time of her death, and Amy loudly says, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve showed her the photo, and she says, oh, this makes sense now. And says she has had it out for a living woman in the house. She doesn't let the woman sleep, and Lori chuckles like, right?
Yeah.
She wants to do as much physical harm as possible. And Lori talks about what she thought was this quote unquote sweet little lady who turned into a creature and ran at her. Amy confirms everything that's happening to Lori is this woman.
Yeah.
And she whips out the sketch, puts it down, and Lori and Jordan reply. And Lori says,
Wow. I don't like that. That's horrible. I don't like that much at all.
Yeah. The woman on the couch? Or in the bed?
Yeah.
Oh, it's scary. Her
face is all like a big swirl.
It's like a swirl, and
Yeah.
she's literally like a 1950s housewife with. Oh, I don't like that. Oh my God.
The thing is, the person in the bed doesn't look like Lori at all. Lori has long blonde hair, but that's okay.
Does it look like Jordan?
No, not really. Jordan has short hair, but it's gray.
That's
They're
scary.
probably in their late 50s.
Yeah.
Early 60s. Okay, so Amy says this woman has inserted a cord into Lori, and she wants Lori out, and she will try to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Lori says she's terrified. She's like, I can't. This is terrifying. And Jordan is pissed. And she says, whatever you want to do to me, but leave mine alone, pointing to Lori.
Yeah.
So Amy says the first thing they have to do is they have to clean the house from top to bottom. Every possible item, surface, window, walls, salt water, everything. This removes stagnant energy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, can't I just move? I don't want to clean
I'd be like,
my
that's like,
house.
I'd rather move.
But you'd have to leave everything.
Right.
Because if you bring one tchotchke that has crap on it, it's going to affect your whole house.
Right.
So I assume, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the second thing they have to do is get a shaman for Jordan and a Reiki master for Lori. These must happen at the same time. Jordan will go into the basement with the shaman. They will do a removal ceremony and a blessing. Lori will go to the couch and have a clearing and a cord cutting with the Reiki master.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's done, the Reiki master and shaman will remove the block and fragment left behind by the serial killer and the angry old lady. Sorry, they will remove and block the fragment left behind by the serial killer and the angry old lady. The next day, the Reiki master will come back and will move Nora on. And in the meantime, they need to stop doing investigations for a little while because that's like making it worse. She didn't think they shouldn't do investigations. She wasn't against them, being investigators, but she just said they have to just until this is settled. Pause.
Stop stirring the pot.
Exactly. So they promised they're going to take Amy's advice starting immediately. 6 weeks later, and it's a video update because it's later. It's season 11. They did everything, and the house is clear.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a good story. That was a good one. I'm glad that they were able to get rid of it.
I am too. So I did a little bit of research, and I found them online.
You did?
I did. And their business is called All Girl Paranormal Society of Colorado Springs.
Yes.
And I found an article about them, and I found their full names. And I found Jordan on LinkedIn. I found Lori on LinkedIn. I found their Facebook page. And they have a podcast. It's from 2020. It has 3 episodes. I listened to them all today. It's very good. Yeah. It's really interesting. And so I sent them an email asking if they wanted to be guests on the show. This is so bizarre.
Oh my God, it stopped again.
Can you see what? Okay, so before you stopped it, it was flashing back and forth, and the little picture of me repeated was on the top of the screen.
No,
again.
I didn't see that.
You got to look at the video, the one that from last week. So, yeah, that's that for.
That was good. That was a good one.
That was a fun one. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that they reach out. Jordan and Lori, if you're listening to this, we would love to have you on the show and talk about your experiences and how things are going now. Because this was in 2019, did I say? Oh, there goes your thing again.
Yeah.
This was in 2019. Their podcast episodes were in 2020, and they were still talking about there being a lot of shit going on in their house. So I don't really know what's going on. But anyway, it is time for an Allanism.
It's time for an Allanism.
Do you want to pick an Allanism, or do you want me to grab one? One I'm saving because it is my favorite.
Okay,
that's going to be our very last episode. 2 we've already done. 3. I have no idea what this is in reference to. I'll just give you the quote.
Okay.
I have perfect impediments.
We all do.
You sure do.
All right. Well, my episode that I'm going to do
Yeah.
is season 12, episode 11, and it's called The Visitors, and it takes place in Minnesota. Cool, Coleraine, Minnesota.
Oh, I don't even know where that is.
I don't either.
We'll have to do a little
find out
research
together. Yep.
Do you know what I learned today?
What?
We can't go too long without talking about TikTok.
Obviously.
You know Stuntman Mike? On
Yes.
TikTok? Okay,
Yes.
for those of you who don't know, he's a little Yorkie. He's hilarious. And he has a big sister named Tess.
Mhm.
And there's another Yorkie with them called Biddy Smalls.
Yes, Biddy
name.
Smalls.
Anyway, they're adorable.
Yeah, they're so cute.
They're local.
Stuntman Mike is like, no
Sure.
way.
Yeah, she said that. Did you see the episode? Did you see the video where Tess is delivering cupcakes?
Mm-mm.
She's got like a little box of like 6 cupcakes, and there's on a handle. She carries it around and brings it to people's
Yes,
houses.
I did.
Okay,
She's Nadia.
yeah, it's
Nadia Cupcakes.
yeah,
Nadia
and that's in
Cakes?
Maple Grove.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They're local.
We got to go now. Okay, I guess
know.
we'll go to Nadia Cakes and get a
know.
cupcake.
All the way out
For
to Maple
you.
Grove. Time for a road trip.
Well, I mean, that's close to me, so.
I know. Anything that's not within walking distance of my
I know.
house is a
It's
road
a
trip.
road trip. Stop for snackies.
Yep. We bring Doritos.
Cool Ranch are the best, and I
Oh,
will
they're
die on that
Pretty
hill.
good. No, they're pretty good. I agree with you.
They're
on that.
better than Nacho.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
better
yeah.
than Nacho.
You know what though? My favorite. They don't even. I don't even know if they make them anymore. They stopped making them for years, and they brought them back. I don't know, maybe 6 years ago or so for a short time. I don't think they could find them anymore. Taco flavor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I will say Nacho Doritos, though, are great for walking tacos. Oh,
Oh yeah, these would be too.
yummy.
Something just touched my leg. And
Was
the
it
dogs are upstairs.
Was it a blanket? Could it
Well,
be your blanket?
my blanket is hanging off here, but I just like ran the blanket up
Yeah.
against my leg, and it didn't feel the same.
A cord?
No, this is the only cord, and it doesn't. It's only this long. It doesn't go
All right.
down there.
Well,
Okay, well, it's time to go to bed now.
maybe it's your
So-
dad. Hi, Alan.
Yeah. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Dad.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media, and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.